Hello and welcome back to Weyermann's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this thanks card using a variety of elements. And the interesting thing is I started this off as a card I was going to stamp. And it ended up not being a stamped card. There is in fact no stamp and no ink pad involved in this card at all. So I'll go through the elements that I've used here. I've used the Stamp and Cut and Emboss embossing folders. There's two in this pack. One says thanks, and the other one says hello, in a variety of different languages. And these are beautiful folders. So I'm using the thanks one for this. I'm using open weave ribbon in the soft succulent. I'm using brushed metallic adhesive back dots, the small ones. And I am using, finally, I've broken out my Expressions in Ink Ephemera pack. It's the gold pieces and the sequins. I'm using the gold pieces today. It's on page 141 of the annual catalog. And this is what these gold leaves are and berry stems that are here. The background paper that I've used is from the Tidings of Christmas. It's the soft succulent, really small leaves with little, I think it's crumb cake, little crosses in it. It doesn't really look very Christmassy here, but I thought it went with the leaves really, really well. If you've got Ever Eden paper, the Ever Eden DSP would look really good with this as well. So I will walk you through how I put the card together. This is a landscape opening, side opening card. So my card base is a full sheet cut down at 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. Then I've got a piece of the designer series paper cut to 5 1/2 by 4 because I want it to be the full length of the front of the card. And I've got a piece of basic white cut 5 1/2 by 3 1/4 that I can use for my embossing folder. I used, to frame the thanks, I used 2 of the stitched rectangle dies and I layered them up to create a frame. This also gives you a blank in the middle. We didn't use this on this card, so you've got another piece to set aside for later. As I said, the ephemera pieces and the ribbon, I'm going to wrap it around. This one, I put the ribbon on afterwards. That's why it's a little bit wonky, but it will go across the bottom with the bow. So let's get started. The embossing folder, if you look at your cut and emboss plate, to do the standard embossing folders, I need this base plate and I need my 2 cutting plates. So I will just get that set up. And with these, whenever you have an embossing folder, the Stampin' Up! Logo is on the top of the folder. So sometimes it doesn't matter. Other times you don't want your image to be inside out kind of thing. So I'm just going to put this in so that it's all encompassed within all of the embossing elements here. So I'm just going to place that in between the cutting mats. You always put the folded end of your embossing folder in first. Otherwise you could actually split the folder. And I've had customers who have actually done that. So we are going to now take this out of the folder. And I'm going to just flip this around. I'm going to move my light a little bit. Hopefully you can see the embossing on that. So, okay. So basically now we just need to build this card. Once you get the design done, actually I'll leave my paper sizes here so that you've still got them in frame. You can write them down if you need them. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to adhere the designer series paper down to the card base. I'm just going to put 3 strips across the back like that. And this one goes right up to the edge. We make sure we're straight and then we drop it down just like that. Okay. And then I embossed, or I dimensionalized this piece, but first thing I need to do is I need to place my frame on here around the thanks so that I know where I'm putting my ribbon, and then I can add my ribbon. This is dimensionalized. These frames really good. If you've got the sticky strips, like the dimensionalized strips, these work really well here as well. I'm just going to center the thanks inside the frame, make sure that I'm straight. And I need to pick this up to look at it to make sure I'm straight. There we go. And I'll just put that down like that. So I need to attach the ribbon now. The ribbon is going to kind of come under here a little bit. What I wanted the ribbon to do is really kind of highlight that there's an element here, really distinguish where the element is. So I'm just going to run some adhesive on the back. I'm going to run this through like this. I want it to go like that. So I'm just going to put it in the adhesive on the back there, tuck it underneath the edge like that, make sure it's level and straight, and then tuck it in on the other side like that. Okay, so now I'm going to use dimensionals to put this to the card front. I'm actually going to put some dimensionals over the edge of the ribbon just to hold it down. You can, as I say, you can use the dimensional strips for this, or you can just use regular dimensionals. So I'm going to use regular dimensionals, as you can see. I'll peel these off. Then I will center this on the designer series paper. And again, we are edge to edge on this one. So I'm going to just pop this down so it's straight along the edge, and that I am level and even like that. There we go. Okay, so now I need to add my gold pieces. So this one I put at the top. I tucked the ends under the frame, but I had it extend out so that it actually overlapped the other elements. And then I put the other large one down at the bottom. And you can put as many or as few of these on as you want. There are also frames, and I played with using one of the frames, one of the gold frames on this, but I found it didn't really jump out enough. It didn't give it enough weight. It's beautiful, and it would be great if you were doing something just slightly different. But I found for this one, I didn't feel it had enough weight. So this one tucks in as well, and we're going to have it overlap like that. The nice thing about this is when you dimensionalize this, the berries on the stem here are actually reflected in the gold underneath, so it almost gives it that double image type look. And I'm going to tuck this in like this. And I've made my bow, and I've already put an adhesive dot on the back so that I can pop this down like this. I'm putting this on the corner of the frame again, just to bring the eye up to the frame. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to add the brushed metallic dots to the sides of the frame. And this one wants to be persnickety. So there we go. Just going to pop these in, and I'm just going to move that one just a little bit so it's better centered. There we go. Okay, so last 3 dots on this sheet. So I've got lucky here. So I'm going to just put that like that. Bring the next one in. Pop it down. And last but not least, we'll pop this one on like that. And there we go. there is a really pretty stepped up card using no ink and no stamp sets at all. We've used the Tidings of Christmas Designer Series paper. The Ever Eden would work as well. I've used stitched rectangle dies, as well as the Thanks and Hello Embossing Folder and the Expressions in Ink Ephemera pack, along with the soft succulent open weave ribbon. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.